Story time. So I was talking to a local business owner the other day, and they were on a recruiting frenzy. And let me explain why. We dug into their business and realized that every employee that we hired generated around $9,800 a month in revenue. So you can imagine if you're a business owner and you realize that every employee generates almost $10,000 a month in revenue, what do you want to do? You want to hire. By the way, if you don't know exactly how much revenue each one of your employees generates or exactly how much overhead they contribute to, that's my first challenge for you today. If we're running businesses and we're hiring people, we need to know the outcome of that hire. Is it a cost to overhead, daily operations of running the business, or is it a revenue generating position? And if it's a revenue generating position, how much revenue is going to be associated with that position? Okay, I digress. Maybe I'll make another video about that. So what I wanted to share with you today is that while we created this recruiting machine, we were hiring 20 people a month, right? So high level, our cash flow should project that, right? If we're hiring 20 people every month and every person generates around $10,000 a month, we should be generating an extra $200,000 a month. Our cash flow didn't reflect that. Here's what we found out. Again, just by doing a little digging in the numbers, realizing cash flow didn't match, what we started to do was not only track recruiting new hires, but we started tracking our retention. And what we found was that now we didn't have a recruiting challenge, we had a retention challenge. So what do you do when you have a retention problem? The first thing we need to do is figure out when we are losing people. Are we losing them during the initial interview process? That might mean that we don't have a strong enough deselection process, right? To get the right people in the interview seat. The second challenge is maybe we lose them in the onboarding process. The third challenge is maybe we lose them in the training process. And then finally, do we have the right tools that we need to retain our best employees? So here's what I'm going to challenge you with today. I hear all the time, Crystal, we need to hire people, we need to hire people. My guess is it could be because of growth, and that's amazing. More often than not, what I'm seeing now, it's not because of growth, it's because we have a retention problem. We're losing more people or as many people as we're recruiting. So back to the challenge. What I'm going to challenge you to do today is, if you find yourself in this hiring frenzy, this hamster wheel of always having to recruit, always having to hire, here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. Number one, begin to track the number of people that you hire versus the number of people that you lose. That's going to give you a retention rate. And if you find that you have a retention problem, like this company does, let me share high level, just 4 simple things that you can do in your business to retain the people that you have and get out of this hiring frenzy. Number 1, continue to track, test, and measure. Number 2, do we have a strong deselection process? Look, you don't want to interview 20 possible applicants. You want to interview 1 or 2 of the best of the best. So we need a strong deselection process. Number 3, onboarding. Do we have a strong onboarding process from the time that they apply or from the time that they are hired until the time that they are launched and fully functioning? Number 4, do you have strong training in place? The last thing we want to do is bring someone on board, give them the fire hose of here's everything we do, or worse yet, not train them, right? So often people say, Crystal, training is expensive. Well, so is recruiting and hiring and losing people, right? Your employees can be your most profitable asset, or they can be your most costly. So invest in training your people and set them up for success. I know I said 4, but I'm going to give you a bonus, number 5. What are the things that you are doing to retain your employees long term? Right? So we've got a good deselection process, we've got strong recruiting, we've got strong onboarding, we've got strong training, and now what are you doing to keep the best of the best that you've recruited? So that's my challenge for you today. Look at those 5 areas of your business. I'm not talking about a 5-minute look. Maybe you need to walk through the process as the business owner or as the CEO or the CFO, right? Take a deep dive into every one of those areas of your business. Find out where you're losing your people and then correct that part of the process. Now, let me give you some of the fun facts that you can expect once you've improved your retention. Number 1, more efficiency. Number 2, better team morale. Number 3, improved cash flow. And those are just 3 of the big effects of these small changes that you can make in your retention model of your business.